Have you ever wondered what you would find if you came through these gates and went up the drive? What does Ormsby Hall look like? What will you find there? Why don't you come and have a look? In the year 1600, James Penniman bought land in Ormsby and built the first Ormesby Hall. It's now the old wing of Ormesby Hall. And then, in the 1740s, another James Penniman inherited the hall, and he and his wife Dorothy decided to build a new house for themselves and their family. Sadly, he died before it was completed and she died shortly afterwards, and so it then went into the hands of their nephew, who's commonly known around here as Wicked Sir James Penniman. Through his high living and lifestyle and his love of horses and racing, he managed to bankrupt himself. Colonel James Beaumont Worsley Penniman was the last owner of Ormsby Hall, and he died in 1961. His widow, Ruth Penniman, went on to live here until 1983 when she died. Ruth Penniman was Colonel Penniman's second wife, and she was quite an extraordinary lady. She was very artistic and creative, and she loved theatre and put on huge theatre productions here at Ormsby Hall and organised local drama activities. If you come to Ormsby Hall, you can see some of the theatre costumes that they used and see posters which Ruth Penniman herself designed. What is now the old wing of Ormsby Hall was the original mansion, and it houses the laundry and the kitchen. And when the newer mansion, the Georgian mansion, was built in the 1740s, the old wing carried on to be used by the servants to service the new mansion. And if you come at the weekends, you can often see people in there doing the washing and doing some of the kitchen tasks. And that is also shown to school children when they come here on a regular basis, when we dress up and behave like Victorian servants, and the children learn how to do all the jobs of the house. School children also come here to learn about World War II. They come here as evacuees. At the weekend you can come to Ormsby Hall and look around the hall, and you can also go outside into the lovely gardens, and then you can visit our wonderful tea room and sample some of Bernie's fantastic cakes that she bakes for us. To maintain a place like Ormsby Hall, the National Trust has to carry out a lot of maintenance and conservation activities, and we have a lot of volunteers who come to help us with all of those tasks, particularly in the gardens and keeping the gardens and grounds in trim. And we have room guides who help out at the weekends showing visitors around. But in the background there's a lot of housekeeping that has to be done too. Our housekeeping team are constantly busy making sure that everything looks at its best and is looked after to the highest standards. A large model railway layout was put into one of the rooms here, and now we have 3 permanent model railway layouts and a model railway club who come to look after them. The Corfe Castle layout is absolutely extraordinary. It took Ron Rising 35 years to put it together. He died in 2006, so you can work out that it's actually a microcosm of life back in the 1950s and 60s. And it's very, very detailed, and it runs every weekend. The architecture of Ormsby Hall is known as Palladian. But it's very plain on the outside, but when you go inside you see some absolutely beautiful rooms with lovely plasterwork and decoration, especially the first floor gallery, off which is the north bedroom, which was always used for the most important guests. One claim to fame that Ormesby Hall has is that Neville Chamberlain stayed here in 1937 when he came to address a rally out on the parkland. Another feature of Ormsby's 18th century parkland is the stable block, which was built by wicked Sir James Penniman to house his horses. It's a palace for horses. It's now the home of Cleveland Police Mounted Section. This is only a taste of what goes on at Ormsby Hall, so why don't you come along and find out and enjoy your visit your way?